Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. I am just convinced right now until they actually do something with RJ that he has just been a waste from start to finish, and he's only there for filler. Um, because him and Thomas seem like they have a pretty pointless conversation that goes absolutely nowhere. And the only thing that it actually does is remind us of just how weird um when you stop to think about it, the relationship between Thomas and Hope, Hope is when you have their brother literally in town, just to kind of remind them that technically it's like they're not related, like they're not blood related, but they're kind of related. It's kind of like Serena and Dan Humphrey from Gossip Girl. They share a brother, and yet towards the end they were still going to get married. So I'll just sit there and think about that one. Their conversation goes entirely nowhere. But the interesting scene was, of course, Hope and Liam. Because Liam was like, yo, listen, I need to sit there and ask you point blank, do you have feelings for Thomas? And what does Hope do? Hope tries to sit there, when she finds out that Steffi was not there talking to her, she tries to turn this around on Steffi, being like, oh well, she's just trying to ruin her happiness, this, that, and the third. She's always been out to do stuff like that. And, Liam points out that, yeah, maybe in the past, but she's married now. So she has no reason to sit there and do that. She's protecting her brother. So he asks her straight up. They get into this huge argument, and once again she tries to play victim, being like, "Oh, well, you never believe me. You don't trust me. You understand how hurtful this is." The thing, part of me is just like, "Wow, you are Hope. You are just one trifling ass heifer, aren't you? You are just ugh." She puts on a waterworks and everything, and she's all like, "Oh no, I love you, and I just want to be with you, and you're the only person for me." And she hugs him, and eventually it seems like it just pacifies him. Which I'm gonna be honest, like there was one point the dude started getting real, like he got loud. He was like, "I want you to fire him," and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, the problem with this whole situation is that neither one of them are willing to sit there and go the ultimatum route of, listen, if you don't fire him, I'm going. Or for Hope, listen, if you don't believe me, then we're breaking up. That's it. We're done. Point blank. Period. They're not willing to sit there and take that extra step. So it just turns into this giant shouting match that goes ultimately nowhere when they just wind up hugging each other and crying and everything like that. So nothing is actually gained from this entire conversation. It just turns into, well, Liam's just going to sit there and just continue to let this chick play him. Meanwhile, you got Steffi and Finn. And when Finn found out that Steffi told Liam, he was like, he just had one of those look like, God damn it. But he didn't want to really say anything because he wants to sit there and support his wife or whatever. So he was like, baby, I'm going to support you. I'm going to support you. But just saying, you kind of dropped the bomb like that. But I understood where Steffi was coming from because Liam was getting out of hand, constantly sitting there blaming um Thomas for their troubles and being like, oh, it's Thomas' fault and Thomas is gonna get in the way and this, that, and the third. And she's like, you know what, listen, I wanna let him go. She was like, I'm not letting it go down like that. Okay. I'm not gonna sit there and let this man um, speak dirty about my brother, and in reality is Hope that's the problem. Now, because nothing actually wound up happening and her tears and her whining and her platitudes apparently was enough to sit there and pacify Liam. She's going to go right back to work Tuesday morning. I say Tuesday because I'm pretty sure Monday there's going to be nothing. Tuesday morning and be like, I can't believe you stopped and you try to ruin my marriage. And, once again, it's that they're playing the victim, and being like, it's your fault and blah, 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 blah. So that should be fun to watch. But it's also pretty sad because here's the thing: Steffi was literally specific about the stuff that Hope was doing, the whole hand holding, the whole eyes gazing, and everything like that. And it was just like, why would Steffi just sit there and make this stuff up? You know, I really do felt like he should have just stood his ground, but for some odd reason, I don't know, you could sit there and call it terrible writing. He just decided, okay, honey, I believe you. You you cried long enough. Your tears was long enough to sit there and make me believe you. Because that's pretty much the only way you can sit there and explain the level of BS in this whole scene. Um, that's pretty much all I have. Like I said, the scenes with Thomas and RJ just went nowhere. The only thing that was kind of interesting was before RJ got in there. You know, once again, Thomas sitting there thinking about Hope and the possibility that maybe Hope might be into him. Either that or he's just, you know, having another psychotic breakdown from reality. But I'm pretty sure it's a lot. I'm pretty sure it's the first part. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. I can't really think of anything else to wind up happening in the show. So with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.